Hey, it's Lemon. Welcome to the Backlogs. You know, I thought after the immolation run that I would never want to see this screen again. Yet here we are. And of my own choosing, no less. Because despite this game having the worst spell in the series, probably, I haven't really played Elden Ring all that much or used the Hunter's tools in Bloodborne. This game has some really cool spells and ideas to somewhat fix the balance. So without further ado, we're gonna find out. Can you beat Dark Souls 2 with only bad breath? For those of you wondering, what I really mean is can you beat Dark Souls 2 with poisonous mists? But I can't just say poison mist. That would make the algorithm's job too simple. Nay, says Dark Souls 2, there isn't just one poison mist attack, there's 3. But that just means we've got 3 times as many options for the run, and we'll go over them all as they come up. After all, we don't want to give away all the juicy goodness right from the start. Speaking of juicy goodness, I have good news for those of you who have been commenting in caps lock for the past several months to make more merch. I made new merch. If you aren't one of the people interested in that, go ahead and skip ahead to the next timestamp. I promise it won't hurt my feelings. And hey, before you go, thanks for watching. You the best. For the rest of you, here it is. The official garb of every Firebomb Academy student and scholar. Delivered to you in hoodie form. Featuring the artistic talents of community members Bonefather and Optical Battle, you can order yourself a Backlogs Firebomb Academy hoodie by following the link in the description or pinned comment, or maybe even the YouTube merch shelf below the video if that's actually working properly for once. You've got the Academy crest in the front and a beautiful assortment of armaments on the back, accompanied by the Academy's mantra, "The lore expands." They come in multiple colors and a large selection of sizes, so hopefully you can find one that suits you. Much like the last merch drop we did, there's a limited window of time for you to order some merch, from February 11th to February 25th, 2023. After that window, all the orders will be shipped out across the globe, and should arrive around March 10th, or sooner, depending on your location. All in all, I'm really happy with how they turned out, and I hope you enjoy them as much as I do. Now if you'll excuse me, I need to confuse everyone who clicked ahead to the next timestamp. And that's how Jessica the Wizard ate a third horse. But enough about philosophy, let the horrible breath smells begin. Unlike a majority of my Dark Souls 2 runs, the run doesn't actually start in Majula, but rather in the things betwixt. Because unlike other challenge runs, I really need an item that you can only find. Alright, good start, Lemon. Good omens all around. Anyway, as I was saying, I really need an item that you can only find in a few places at the start of this run. Amber herbs. Because believe it or not, I've learned a thing or two from the immolation run. Like how amber herbs can replenish spellcasts. There aren't exactly a lot of them in the early game though, and there's nowhere we can grind them out infinitely at the moment, so amber herbs are truly a last resort item. So for now, we're using a few older techniques that we've developed the last few runs. I lure an exorbitant amount of knights to their death, then pay a visit to the local cat.
You do have a rather pleasant scent.
Jeez, alright, I get it. No need for the sarcasm. It's not like they sell toothbrushes in Drain Lake, you know. I buy the kitty cat ring, grind out a few more knights so I can get my health up just a smidge more, then make my way down into the well. And once I make my way all the way to the bottom, and I mean all the way to the bottom, I drop down into the gutter, where I get both a fragrant branch of yore, our first usable spell of the run, and the only other spell tool we're gonna need for this run. Then I head on back to Majula, down the path of the juice. Then use our newly acquired branch of yore to free Rosabeth. God, is my breath really that bad? Well, personal hygiene aside, the real reason we freed Rosabeth is because we want something she has. Poison Mist. And before you know it, we've got it. Poison Mist, our first viable attack. Wow, that's some casting speed. Better range than I was expecting though. But with our weapon of choice now unlocked, it's time we go for our armor. Hey there, buddy. How's life going? Whatever your answer is, I guarantee it's about to get worse. Looking good so far. Turns out, poison in Dark Souls 2 is actually really good. Like, incredibly so. We might just be able to... Oh, right. The NPCs have Estus flasks. Okay, might have to come back to this one later. You get to live. For now. So, let's talk about poison in Dark Souls 2. Much like immolation, it's one of those spells that doesn't change no matter what you do to your character. Once it procs, it does approximately 1,000 damage over a period of 20 seconds, regardless of poison defense, regardless of casting tool upgrade level, regardless of equipment. And though I can't prove it myself, since I don't have the behind the scenes numbers, multiple wikis state that the changes made to your poison attack stat, which can be influenced by your dexterity and a few choice rings and armors, doesn't actually boost how quickly the poison procs. Again, can't confirm that myself, but after going through this run and taking the rings on and off throughout, I'm pretty sure they're right. So what does that mean? Well, it means this run just got extremely simple from a numbers point of view. So long as we have a spell tool that can cast our spells of choice, it doesn't matter how strong or upgraded they are. The effectiveness of our spells will always be the same. The same goes for our stats. Outside of upgrading health, stamina, and our iframes, there's no point in investing in any other stats. Outside of the 25 intelligence and 14 faith you need for Dark Fog anyway. So with all that said and done, let's see how this goes. The last giant, the first boss. We've only got 2 casts of Poison Mist to throw around, and I don't have the stats for Dark Fog just yet. But luckily for us, the last giant's poison resist is low enough that 1 cast is enough to get the ball rolling. And once it's rolling, there's not much else to do. Poison doesn't stack on top of itself, so it's better to just sit back and wait until the damage ticks stop. Then just recast Poison Mist, wait the appropriate amount of time, and bam, another 1000 poison damage coming right up. Now, the last giant does have more than 2000 health, but I came prepared. As you saw earlier, I made a point of grabbing all the amber herbs I could find before coming to this boss fight. And even though they only restore 1 use of Poison Mist, that's all we need to finish the fight. First boss, first try. That wasn't bad at all. With Melentia back in Majula, I spend her newly gained souls to buy the rest of her amber herbs and any other goodies I need. Then acquire a very important ring for this run, the Silver Serpent Ring +1. Trust me, it's invaluable. You'll see why later. After that, it's time to go mess with Buddy again and... Wait, are you de-aggroed? Okay. Have some mist? Oh my god. Oh my god. We may have been able to take him out this entire time. I've never seen this happen before. Is he broken? Damn, magic pixel. Yeah, nothing a second cast won't fix. There we are. Sorry about that, buddo. But with your death comes my gain, the Seldora armor set. Add that to our Silver Serpent Ring, and we've got a soul boost of 42.5%. Sounds a bit extreme, but I assure you, it's very much needed. I promise, I'll explain later. But first, let's kill the Dragon Rider. Just like the last giant, 1 cast is all it takes to get poison going. And much like the last giant, there's not much more to do but wait. Now, we still don't have an unlimited supply of amber herbs, so I'm very wary of using them unless I know for a fact that I'll probably win the fight. And with the Dragon Rider down to about 33% health, and me still having full Estus, this is one of those times. I'll be honest, I am starting to get Immolation Run flashbacks with all the side strafing and waiting around, but it's not nearly as bad as that. Consider this run an intricate version of exposure therapy. Dragon Rider down, almost 18,000 souls acquired, all of which I immediately toss into intelligence. More methods of damage are always a good time, and the faster we can get Dark Fog, the better. And the fastest way I can think of is to beat another boss, which means it's time for the Pursuer. There's just one problem though. The Pursuer doesn't proc poison with only 1 cast. His poison resistance is high enough that we'll actually need 2, which means at least 2 amber herbs eaten up throughout the fight. And I need to fight well, a heavy task considering I have no iframes. And unfortunate as it is, this is a reoccurring theme. Even basic mobs are proving either too difficult or impossible to poison. We may have a bit of a problem here. It's not every enemy, of course, and I'm more than capable of sprinting to every boss, but still, shattered dreams and all that. But it's not all bad, because even though the Pursuer is being a pain, they aren't the only way forward. I buy a clear bluestone ring from Carhillion, which gives me a slight boost to my spellcasting speed, very much needed, then push forward into the Flexile Sentry boss arena. And wouldn't you know it, 1 cast, 1 proc. You love to see it. Now, they are beefy, so we're going to need more casts than I'd like, and my agility iframes are still garbage too. Combine that with the rising water slowing me down, and this fight is more difficult than it has any right to be. But not more difficult than we can manage. Flexile Sentry down, and almost 21,000 more souls in my pocket. Well worth the risk. Because now we can afford Dark Fog. Yes sir, can't wait. Let me just... It takes 2 attunement slots. Thank you, Dark Souls. Luckily, this isn't my first time in the Masochist Funhouse, so I didn't spend all of my souls. There we are, 3 attunement slots, 2 spells, and a new grand total of 6 poisonous casts. Something tells me the Pursuer's met his match. And you know what? Let's find out right now. Ah, that's better. For those wondering, Dark Fog is basically just a spell version of Poison Mist. Because why should Pyromancers have all the fun, you know? That said, I did notice that Dark Fog casts a little bit faster, and might have a larger radius. Hard to say, without knowing all the background numbers. But what I can say is that it does its job, and it does it well. Pursuer destroyed. Moving right along. I dumped my souls into attunement, since that will give me more casts and slightly better iframes, then make several bad life choices in an effort to clear the way to Ornstein. It works better than it should have. Hey Ornstein, how's things? Oh god, watch where you're stabbing that thing. Unexpectedly, Ornstein is actually a one-cast kind of guy. You wouldn't think it, but I'm not complaining. Which means it's a simple matter of waiting for him to stand relatively still, cast Dark Fog, and let the poison do the work. And 3 casts later, there you go. Ornstein destroyed. Moving right along. I will say, one thing Dark Souls 2 did right was make stat progress so incredibly quick. We're at 31 attunement already, and that's after I put points elsewhere. Madness. For those wondering, there are several points in attunement where our spell quantities increase. Poison Mist and another Pyromancy we'll be getting later increase uses at 32, 49, and 94 attunement. And Dark Fog increases its uses at 32, 43, 58, and 94. So yeah, we've got some room to grow. Which means it's time for the Ruined Sentinels. Yet again, and I'm really surprised how often this keeps happening, the boss is a single cast poison proc. Not complaining, just exclaiming. Which means after 3 casts, the first sentinel goes down. Now, we've only got 3 more casts of poison to go around, but if we play our cards right, it's all we need. It's a little ugly, but with a quick cast of Dark Fog released, both sentinels begin to whittle down, proving our theory. Man, it feels good to be right sometimes. Unfortunately, the sentinels decided to stop playing ball on my second cast, but that's okay. At this point, I'm feeling confident. It takes the usual amount of running and screaming to get it done, and I may have had to act as bait to keep them in the poison clouds, but it all panned out in the end. 49,000 souls in the bank. There we are, nice and hefty. And with that increased, so too is our spell total, from 6 total casts to 8. Things are looking up. In fact, I think it's time we got a bit greedy. Time for the Royal Rat Vanguard. I held off initially because the rats are also strong against poison, but with as many casts as we have, we should be able to push through. It also helps that they all group up. Makes killing the first 10 rats much more attainable than you'd think. And once you kill 10, out comes Rocky the Radical Rat. He's just as resistant to poison as the other rats, but like the other rats, his health pool leaves much to be desired. That's almost a one-hit KO. Not bad. Easy boss. First try, let's go. Ain't nothing stopping this pain train. Oh god, I've jinxed it. Please, Dark Souls, have mercy. Anyway, with the Royal Rat Vanguard destroyed, I do now have access to the Rat Ring, which increases your poison attack. That's a misleading name though, because it doesn't increase the damage, just the rate at which poison builds up before proccing. And, as I stated before, I'm pretty sure it only applies to poison weapons, not spells. Which means it won't actually help us with this run. Shame that. But before we can use the other reward I got from the Royal Rat Vanguard, we've got 2 more things to find. First is a Bonfire Ascetic, extremely important, you'll see why later. And the second thing is a Branch of Yore, which is hidden behind the next boss, the Lost Sinner. This fight was tricky. Not only did I fail to grab the key that would let me light up the arena, but the Lost Sinner takes 2 casts to proc and has a tendency to jump out of the mist. Combine that with how quickly she can move and attack, and you've got a real tricky fight on your hands. Eventually though, I developed the winning strategy. Cast Poison Mist when your health is full, then Dark Fog is a follow-up since it's a faster cast and has less risk of getting smacked while casting it. And after getting poisoned 4 times, the Lost Sinner dies in midair and proves that she does not, in fact, have a falling animation. Learned something new today. Branch of Yore acquired, and 1 Lord Soul down. Her souls get me to 50 attunement, which means closing in on another spell cap increase. But why wait? Rise and shine, Framped, you withered old snake. I have need of you. Ah, there we are. Toxic Mist. Traded in for the Royal Rat Vanguard soul, this puppy is actually different than the other 2 spells we've been using thus far. While it does look and act the same way as Poison Mist does, it has 5 casts instead of 4. Not only that, it does approximately 1500 damage over 20 seconds instead of only 1000. And it's toxic damage, not poison, which means we can stack it. Yes, indeed. Which means it's probably time for the Rotten to show his beautiful face, don't you think? Now, my first attempt went poorly, mainly because I was overconfident, and also because chat thought it would be hilarious to start a hype train and just bombard me with membership messages throughout the fight. But chat did have one good point to make amongst their nonsense. They pointed out that Strayed actually sells another cast of Dark Fog, which means, much like Dark Souls 1, we can equip both spells and have double the casts. I don't say this often, because it's usually not true, but good job, chat. You did good. So, with renewed confidence and a hefty AF spell repertoire, I tried the Rotten again. And unbelievable as it may seem, the Rotten can be rotted further. It takes 2 casts to proc, and his health bar is chunky, but it's definitely possible. I also learned something else. Poison Mist and Toxic Mist have less ticks than Dark Fog, which means they take more casts than Dark Fog to proc. And if that meant nothing to you, I'll explain after we watch the rotten melt into a puddle of sludge. Right, so, think of it like this. I cast Poison Mist, and the cloud appears. If an enemy were to stand in that cloud and not move, it would get hit by Poison Mist 10 times. If those 10 hits were enough to get past its poison defense, it would become poisoned and take 1,000 damage. But if I did the exact same scenario but with Dark Fog, the enemy would get hit 15 times. The fog still lasts the same amount of time, and they'll still do the same damage in the end, but you can see how this makes Dark Fog the better option between the two. Thank God we have 14 casts of it now. Onward to the Hunter's Copse, where we talk to Falcon. He doesn't have anything for us, but he does have a very nice hat that increases your total cast by 5%. Not a bad deal. But luckily for him, my Seldora hat is much more important. You'll see why later, stop asking. Then I make my way across the bridge, which is apparently too much to ask for the rest of my fan base. What you doing? You guys having fun over there? But with the fans occupied, it's time to fight the Executioner's Chariot. Nothing much to report here. Just roll on down to the end of the arena, give the Necromancers a taste of their own medicine, then let the Chariot take care of any stragglers. Easy enough. And once player 2 has joined the battle, it's simply a matter of poisoning it as well. As a proof of concept, I tested out the theory that you could apply toxic and poison at the same time. And, yeah, you can. Goodbye, Horsey. You were a terrible boss. But with all that taken care of, it's time we go elsewhere. Because reasons, okay? Don't worry about it, it's all part of the plan. Everything is fine! Through the Shaded Woods, where I collect the Chloranthy Ring +1 and the Blue Clearstone Ring +1, then straight on through to Najka. Hello, my dear. Have you brushed your teeth today? Huh. Okay. That's not supposed to happen. What if we apply more? Uh-oh. So, yeah, Najka is apparently poison-proof. So that's not good. But that's okay, though. We've still got other paths to take, like the Skeleton Lords. Here you go, bud. Have a face full of fog. Yeah! Alright, now hold on just a minute. Yep, Skeleton Lords are poison-proof as well, which brings up a slight hiccup to the run. If we can't kill the Skeleton Lords, we can't clear the windmill. And if we can't clear the windmill, we can't get to Bowser's Castle. And if we can't get to Bowser's Castle, we can't get Bowser's Lord's Soul. What's more, we also can't clear Najka, which means no Royal Rat Authority, no Spider-Verse, and yet another Lord's Soul missed. And we can't clear the Dark Lurker, because I'll tell you right now that it's immune to poison. No, we're not going to go through all the effort of proving it, the wiki says so, and I am not going through the Upside Down just to get brick-walled. So what's a guy to do? Soul Memory. That's right, we're back at it again. In order to progress, we're going to need 1 million souls. As of right now, we're sitting at 479,757. About halfway. And now my trickery is fully revealed. It's me! I was the turkey all along. Like 5 people are going to get that reference. I don't know what's wrong with me. But yeah, I knew this was going to be a problem the entire time. I do my research, I read, and I knew that we were never going to be able to get all 4 Lord's Souls. So I prepared. I got the most soul boosting equipment I could and let the game do the rest of the work. And because of our pre-planning, our work is halfway done. But with only one boss remaining before these brick walls, how are we going to get the remaining 500k? With absolutely zero grinding. That's how. First, I take out the gargoyles, which are both difficult because of how many there are, and easy because of how many there are. You know what I mean. More clumping, fewer casts. An easy 40 grand obtained, plus whatever their soul is worth. Then it's just a short trip back to Pirate Town to collect the branch of yore hiding inside the local bar, which I immediately use on the Hollow and Black Gulch. All the speedrunners in the audience know exactly where I'm going with this. Time to put those 2 bonfire ascetics to work. One gained from picking it as a gift, the other from all those hours ago. I mean, to you it's been like minutes, but you know what I mean. And with that popped, the Rotten is back and more rotten than ever. He's got more health, but he's worth more souls now as well. What's going on there? On New Game Plus, the Rotten is worth 140,000. And in New Game Plus 2, he's worth 175,000. Combine that with the 50,000 his souls are worth, and the 120,000 his New Game Plus souls are worth, and you've got it. 1 million souls with 0 grinding. Because fighting bosses doesn't count. And before I forget, I kill the 2 secret giants hiding in the Black Gulch for their goodies. Wouldn't want to miss out on the Poison DLC now, would we? Oh god, wait, I didn't think about that one. What the hell am I gonna... So with those million souls acquired, let's push forward, shall we? Up and up to Drain Lake Castle, and down into the basement where we open the doors with... Oh. The statues can't be poisoned. But have no fear. there's a not-so-friendly soldier on the floor above who's more than happy to follow me to the door. And with his death, the door opens, and we can move forward. Let me just make sure I get the Iceborne DLC key, and then we can move on to the Dragon Rider duo. Wow, they really have small health bars in comparison to the other bosses. That's just embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. I'm not sure where your dragons are, but you don't deserve them. But now for the next brick wall. I need this giant to move, otherwise we can't progress. And the only enemies we can use to get a soul to move him is from these mannequins. And as you can see, slight issue. Or so I thought. Thankfully, after casting Dark Fog about 6 times in a row, the mannequin actually can get poisoned. Thank God. Which means we can get the key to the next boss. Celebratory poison for everyone! What? Oh, I forgot about the lady behind him. Okay, maybe she won't die? She's got a lot of health. Maybe we'll be alright. Well, anyway, on to LGK. It takes 2 casts each time, but LGK can be poisoned. And so long as we keep far enough away and dodge his little buddies, this entire fight isn't that hard. LGK down, moving right along. Time for the Shrine of Amana. Ooh boy, can't wait. Can't wait. Best area in the game, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10! It's not that bad. I'm just bad at the game. Dark Fog is a long-range spell, so if you can get the White Cloaks poisoned and then run away, you'll be fine. Which means it's time for the Demon of Song. Looks like poison works, and that's all we needed to know. What's more, it actually penetrates through her frog shell, which means 0 downtime throughout the fight. Super easy boss. Bye, Grandma! And after a little bit of tomfoolery in the crypts, we can get out of here, Tony! We can take on the king's main man. He gets poisoned like all the rest. And because he's relatively slow, it's just a matter of waiting out the timer. I even took advantage of the fact that he sits still for more than a few seconds and gave him the old double trouble. God, look at that health bar melt. Well, that was fun. What's next? Grab the King's Ring, open the path to Frankenstein's laboratory. Oh, hi, Mark. And on to the Guardian Dragon. And wouldn't you know it, it can be poisoned. You'll love to see it. It's a single cast, too. So, you know, that's fun. Also, I've been doing this long enough that I've developed an internal 20-second timer. I'm not sure if I should be worried about that or not. Anyway, on to the Dragon Eyrie, where someone in the comments rightly pointed out that if you don't smash any dragon eggs, you can cross the bridge without fighting any of the dragons. And considering I don't really need upgrade materials or elemental stones, that saved a lot of time. I don't say this often, because it's usually not true, but good job, comments. You did good. And with the Ancient Dragon's text skipped entirely, we can now move on to the giant memories. Oh, alright, I'll fight the Ancient Dragon, but only because the audience has been so good this video. It takes 2 casts to trigger poison, so that's not so bad. But that health bar though, yeah, that's a thing. For anyone else who's insane enough to fight this boss, I'll give you the rundown on how to make it trivial with any build. Run into these toes, then run all the way over to these toes. Then run all the way back to where you started, and repeat until you die of old age. All the while squeezing in a hit or 2 whenever you can. On the rare occasions where the dragon gets off the ground and tries to burn away the gnat that's currently biting his toes, just run towards his tail. And so long as you aren't underneath it when he comes back down, you can repeat the process ad infinitum, ad nauseum, and ad tedium. You know, I don't even think the giant souls give Vendrick less poison defense. Why am I even doing that? Grab the giant souls, then face off against the last giant for the last time. Unsurprisingly, he can in fact be poisoned. Again. And unsurprisingly, it only takes 1 cast to get the poison rolling. Again. It takes a few more procs than last time, of course, what with him being a healthy boy in the past, but nothing we can't handle. Which means we now only have a few bosses left in the main game. Vendrick himself, the Throne Defenders, and Nashandra. Everyone else is out of reach. Which means it's time for the DLC! Hooray! Ice in my throat. Shockingly, the enemies in the DLC aren't strong against poison. It's well known that elemental damage and status effects don't usually fare well in the add-ons, so yeah, bit of a surprise. A welcome one though. And after aimlessly running around for way longer than I would like, we get the Priestess's Eye, Priestess, Lemon, not Princess, then go up against Ava, the king's pet. And it's here that we see the poison defense. Go figure. Not only does it take 3 casts to trigger, but Ava's a big fan of jumping around, which means you're much more likely to need 4 casts just to guarantee a poison. Honestly, it's a tricky fight. And if you aren't ready for it, you'll more than likely— Ava, no, Icky, spit that out. You don't know where it's been. It takes several tries to get the casting time right, but eventually, the king's pet finally falls. Boy, sure hope that isn't foreshadowing for the rest of the DLC fights. It is. It most certainly is. And you know what? This probably isn't even the hard part. This is just the run-up. Well, might as well get it over with. Let's do this. Into the old chaos. Into the closest Dark Souls ever came to being a battle royale. God, that felt gross just saying. I am so sorry about that. That's not even true, is it? The problem with this fight is twofold. The first phase, where we have to fight Burnt Ivory Knights, is slow and bad. They take 2 or more casts to proc, and they have 2 procs worth of health. Basically just a spell tax. So bring herbs to recover. Then you've got the Ivory King himself. Intimidating beastie that he is. Now, I have been getting better and better at dodging his attacks. Props again to the comments section for coming in clutch and pointing out that he's left-handed. Dodging to his right instead of his left is definitely the way to go. But with that said, it doesn't change the fact that the Ivory King is very resistant to poison, loves to jump all over the place, and is a spell tax in his own right. We need more supplies. Okay. Yeah, okay, this isn't working. I mean, honestly, I've tried this fight so many times that I actually have a full set of Charred Lois armor. Clearly something isn't working here. Maybe we need to rethink our build a bit. And I think I know where to start. There we are. Much better. The Dark Hood and the Lion Mage armor. I may have had to kill Frampt, but hey, he called me names. He had it coming. With our new armor, not only do we have increased defense, but each piece actually gives us improved casting speed. Combine that with our rings, and we're basically maxing out on casting speed over here. Is it noticeable? I mean, kinda. But it won't stop you from getting killed when you make bad decisions on when to cast your spells. But sometimes that fraction of a second you save is all you needed to make a clean getaway. And I do mean fraction of a second. We're working with individual frames here. The window is just that small. But even the smallest of things can become the greatest of advantages. And with the Ivory King's boss fight now having several new safe animations to cast from, he finally goes down. And then I got repeatedly mauled by giant cats. Look, we all know how this fight goes. We all know how it ends. It's quite literally just Ava again. But now there's 2 of them. And people wonder why I don't like Elden Ring. For those wondering, yes, poison damage can actually outpace the remaining cat's health regen in the 3rd phase. But only for 20 seconds. After that, you'll have to find another window of opportunity to get it procced again. But get the final cast off, and it's a guaranteed victory. And with that victory in our pocket, we've cleared the entire Ivory King DLC. Good riddance. Now, we can't even attempt the 2nd DLC, since it's locked behind Bowser's Castle. So those 3 bosses are just moot. But we can attempt the Blighttown Extended Edition. Oh hey, look, it's that 1 piece of armor that increases your poison attack when worn. Doesn't help us, what with spells not being affected for some reason. But still, kinda neat. After spending far too much time getting lost in the vertical maze that is this DLC, I eventually arrive at Alana, the Squalid Queen. And as expected, the Queen of Poison is, in fact, immune to poison. I tried Toxic too, just to be safe. But nope, not even a tickle. Funnily enough, Velstadt 2.0 is also immune to poison. And we already know that skeletons are immune as well, which means there is literally no enemy in this boss fight that you can kill. Okay, yes, I know there are pigs and the pigs can probably be poisoned, but if you think for 1 second that I'm going to restart this boss fight over and over until they spawn just to make a point, you've got another thing come. So with Alana guarding the entrance to Sin's Arena, we're officially locked out of the crown for this DLC as well. Guess we won't be able to fight any more DLC bosses. Gosh darn, what a bummer. Oh, alright, I'll fight the Gank Squad. And you know what? I'm okay with this. As per usual, more enemies means less casts. And there's something extremely satisfying about watching all 3 health bars tick down at the same time. The little XP gremlin in my brain is sending all the good chemicals my way for being so efficient. Thanks, XP gremlin. The only Gank Squad member who's any amount of difficult is Varg. And that's simply because he loves to chug Estus. Man, does that Varg love him some Estus. But I get it. He's a growing boy, and a growing boy's gotta drink. But a growing boy also needs to know his f***ing place, and a little bit of toxic and poison will do just that. Let's see you heal through that, you Havel-armoring gun of a son. But with that done, there's nothing else to it. Time for the Throne Watcher and Defender. This fight's a little tricky, because you can't control how much damage you do, only the rate at which you do it. With this in mind, I did my best to poison and toxic the Throne Defender, while only poisoning the Throne Watcher. Considering the Defender has more health, and considering he'll revive the Watcher if he doesn't go down shortly after she does, this is our best chance at keeping their health bars even. And while it's not exactly perfect, it works good enough for my purposes. And with 1 last burst of poison damage, the Throne Twins go down. 1 more to go. Time to see if this skeleton can be poisoned. I know it's a long shot, but if there's one thing I've learned from all these challenge runs, it's that the Chandra will always disappoint. Yep, right on cue. Not exactly consistent of Dark Souls 2, but I'll take it. Better this than getting locked out of an actual ending. Also, can we just all collectively laugh at how funny it looks when Nishandra is getting attacked while shooting her laser? I mean, I thought it was funny. But after getting the last laugh, we've done it. We've beaten Dark Souls 2 with only bad breath. I know we had to skip a few bosses. Okay, quite a few. But I'm still pretty impressed with how this run went. It may not be the strongest, chunkiest damage in the game, but if you're ever stuck in Dark Souls 2 and find yourself against a boss that isn't resistant to poison, maybe give one of these spells a try. Combined with your regular damage output of choice, it might just be what you need to push you over the edge. Until then, always remember, brush your teeth. This is Lemon, signing off. Oh god, wait, I forgot Vendrick. Hello? Hello? How do you open this door? Hello? Hey, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that one. I know I did. Just thought I'd re-mention that hoodies are for sale. You know, in case you forgot. Link in the description and the comments and all that. And if you liked the video, maybe, you know, like the video, or subscribe, or both. Did you brush your teeth yet?